Have a seat.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me. Have a seat, you old so-and-so. Oh, sorry. I keep banging into the camera.
How's my hair?
Great.
I had this urge to just turn around and go the other way, just leave. You know, it was weird. And but you know, you can't do that.
No, I had the exact same experience. The captain said, "Okay, Stevie, we're going in." And when he said we're going in, I thought he was crazy. I said, "Why would we go in there?" That was the first thing I thought. And I thought, no, we should be going out.
All these people that we see die, it wasn't in their plan for that morning. People woke up, they take their shower, they have their coffee, right? Just like we do every day. And then something tragic happens, whether it's a fire or an accident, and they're dead. Or somebody who's really important to them is killed. You know, one day that's going to be our morning. We're going to all get up one day. And it's going to be our last day, and we have no idea.
I was a New York City firefighter for only about 4 years, back in the 1980s. What I didn't realize then was how much the job would stay with me and be a part of my life. Even today, when big events happen, like Hurricane Sandy, when so many people lost their homes, including a lot of firefighters, we all come back together. It's like a family. How are you and your guys holding up?
We're hanging in there. We'll bounce back.
It will. It'll bounce back.
The shack is there, though. It didn't get washed away. All right, man. Have a good Thanksgiving, brother. I'll see you later on. We'll see you. I'll never forget, right after 9/11, looking over, you were by yourself, and you were digging, and you had that old scruffy helmet on and an old jacket. And I said, man, that looks like that guy from Con Air, I think it was, right? Was Con Air out? And somebody goes, that is. He was a fireman at 55 engine. I said, get the fuck out of here. I had no idea.
Right now.
Hey, guys.
Oh, you put dessert?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Good. How you doing? All right. Hey, Ken.
How you doing, Steve?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you.
I'm not hugging you.
Hey, I know. They stick his tongue in your ear. You gotta watch him. I see him on the street.
I'm sorry, Joe.
I see him on the listen. I see him on the street. I go to hug him. He gives me a kiss.
Yeah, you gotta get
anyway.
What we deal with now.
You're even finished.
Decision not coming back, Steve?
Medical benefits,
Still
Joe.
thinking about
Remember medical benefits.
I had no designs on being a firefighter. I had some vague idea about becoming an actor. It just, you know, I was sort of directionless.
Same way. I was the same way, Steve, you know. I remember saying to my dad, oh, I never thought about being a firefighter. And he said, oh, it's a good job. He said, you should take the test, so.
In my family, I have 3 brothers. Whatever civil service test came up when we turned 18, we just had to take it. And I was lucky that for me it was the fire department.
All firemen are appointed and promoted under civil service. Applicants are required to pass a written examination, strenuous physical agility test, and are subject to close medical scrutiny before accepted.
It all begins at the Proby School. The Proby, more dignifiedly known as a probation fireman. Here, the Proby is introduced to all phases of his chosen career.
On cover. Let's go. Sometime today, then. Sit up.
Yes, sir.
What is wrong with this picture right here, son?
Forgot to secure my gear, sir.
You forgot to secure your gear?
Yes, sir.
And why is that?
I didn't double check, sir.
You didn't double check?
No, sir.
I'll deal with you later, son.
Yes, sir.
Aye, sir. There is. Yes, sir.
So, what was it about the fire department that made you want to join?
I'm like the little kid who said he wanted to be a fireman, but actually meant it.
I've always wanted to be a firefighter. My school was right down the block from the firehouse that I'm working in right now.
Get down! Heads up! Heads up! We are a team. We are only as strong as our weakest individual. Up! Down!
I was on the police department list, and I was on the correction list and the fire department. And I just thought about it. I go like, I'm not really a gun person.
I had seen a couple of fires when I was a youngster, and I was impressed because I'm standing across the street and looking at this volume of fire, and I said, wow, they put all that fire out, saved lives, very dramatic. As a young, red-blooded Brooklyn kid, I said to myself, wow, that's pretty exciting.
Well, my interest in the fire department is in my blood. My father was a firefighter. My father-in-law was a firefighter. My godfather was a firefighter. And I do think probably half my cousins are firefighters. I was encouraged to be a firefighter myself, but I'm not that brave.
I think it's in our blood. The itch is there. I think my father kind of planted a seed, you know.
2 of his older brothers were firefighters, and it kind of led him into being a fireman.
It's in my blood. My grandfather was a firefighter, and then my father. I don't know if I had a choice.
My brother Tommy had already been a firefighter, and my brother Timmy and I had actually taken the test together.
My father sent the application into the fire service. I took the test, one of the first tests I ever passed.
But he made us, you know, not forced us to take the test. He recommended me, you should take this written test, just in case, use it as backup.
And I thank God that my father steered me in that direction, because I really had no idea what the job was about and what I was getting into. Do you remember your first job?
I was terrified. I mean, they say your knees knock. Physically, my knees were knocking.
I said to myself, you made a gross error.
I was actually praying that there wouldn't be a job.
The call comes in, the alarm goes off, the adrenaline starts right then and there. Cranked up to the max.
Fifth alarm has been transmitted from Brooklyn.
Well, anybody that says they're not scared, they're full of shit. Okay? Because, you know, you should be scared, and that's what keeps you alive.
Confirmed there's going to be 6 engines and 2 tower ladders.
There's trucks and there's engines, you know, which I really didn't even know the difference until I was in Proby school. The truck is basically tools, and they're ladders, and they do search and entry and ventilation.
Well, the engine is, they have the hose. They hook up to the hydrant, stretch the line, and bring the water into the building.
I like to say the engine is the most important because we have the water. And without the water, you can't put the fire out.
Nozzle. A nozzle. That's the holy grail right there.
First year, I was assigned the can position in the truck.
All right, the can is the 2.5-gallon water fire extinguisher. And you carry the can and the hook. It's amazing what you can do with that little can.
And I was just, like, I struggled to get my mask, to get the can, to get, you know, I didn't even, like, know where the lieutenant went. The other guys had to say, you know, this is where you go in here.
10-4 status of the fire.
You're rolling in, you smell it first, you're a couple of blocks away, you know you got a job.
Company 6 alarm has been transmitted
You want to have a good job. You don't want to have like, a little one-room stovetop fire. You want to have like, 1 or 2 rooms going. You want to put out a lot of fire.
When they say good job, that means, I don't really know how to put this, that they got their butt kicked. You know what I mean? That means it was a really tough fire.
All you want to see is flame, because with the smoke, you don't know what's going to happen. Because smoke could explode. Smoke is keeping you from getting to the flame. So once you see flame, you know you got the fire.
You're basically you're looking for fire.
The first person I removed, a woman, and I still remember what she looked like, and you could see that it was, it was too late for everybody, and that's what I made. I decided I'm not gonna, look at people's faces if I don't have to.
The arsonist, he had just had an argument with his girlfriend, who was the hat check girl. And he was really disruptive. The bouncers had to throw him out. And he threatened them, "I'll be back. I'll fix you guys." He did come back.
So he opens that door, splashes the gasoline. The inside door was closed. And he throws a couple of matches down and then walks away.
Okay, hang on just a second. I'm going to take the mic for a minute because I think we're kind of confused on what I'm listening to here. I was, come here, microphone. I was watching a documentary on HBO about the New York Fire Department, and I learned when I was watching it that, I know about 911 about as much as you guys know about 911. Hold on just a second. I'm going to turn off this room air purifier. I hate the sound of it. Hold on. I'll be right back. I'm just going to walk across the room and I'm going to turn off this air purifier. It is so freaking loud. It's so loud, dude. There we go. Okay. And the reason why I stopped the playback is because when I went in there in the den earlier I was cleaning some stuff and moving around, and I've got this new chair that my kids bought me, and it's like really hard to get into. There we go. Okay. And I didn't even realize that at one time the New York Fire Department was called to a fire at a nightclub that was set by an angry boyfriend, some fucking idiot that was trying to get with his ex-girlfriend that was the hat check girl or the coat check girl, and 87 people died in that fire. And I didn't realize the absurdity of the cause of the fire, and I didn't realize the New York firemen that had been hurt in that fire. I thought it was really sad. And then after I was intrigued when I was watching it. And then after they stopped talking about that, they went in to talk about 911 and some of the things that they said about 9/11 and what happened to the men of ladder 5. I was shocked. I was shocked when I found out that 287 New York firemen lost their lives in 911. And it's just like chills ran down my spine when I saw that. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? And so I'm going to stop it right there. We're going to come back to that in just a second. I'm going to show you something else that I was listening to. This just sent chills down my spine. And this is the final audio tapes of the firemen of ladder, I think it's called ladder truck number 5 or something. I'm not sure. And 15, they were the first responders. And what they did is they were, up the ladder. They were up the stairwells. And they were trying to get up there to save the people. And it's really sad. And I think if I were one of those people, I would want to be remembered. And so it's what I do on 9/11. I always do this. I don't want to talk about how 9/11 was an inside job or any bullshit like that. That's beside the point. These people lost their goddamn lives. They didn't have to. You've still got a life, if you can hear me. And I think that just like Jesus said when he was going to die, Remember me. People want to be remembered. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to remember these firemen. Starting off with, did you also know that a lot of the firemen that were at the tragedy in 9/11, they died of cancer from breathing all that bullshit? Unbelievable. 7 minutes before the collapse, Battalion Chief Oreo Palmer is heard saying, "Ladder 15, we've got 2 isolated pockets of fire. We should be able to knock it down with 2 lines." And that was right before the towers fell. Take a listen. The widow of Chief Palmer was allowed to hear the tape before the excerpts were released. She said, "I didn't hear fear in his voice. I didn't hear panic. When the tape is made public to the world, people will hear what they all went through when they were so selfish and so fearless." So sad. Here we go.
All right, 10-4, Scott, what floor are you on? 48 right now. All right, keep walking, we're coming up behind you. Giant 7, you want me to relay? Yeah, Steve, tell people of Palmer they got reports that there's more planes in the area. We may have to back down here. 747 Alpha to 7. Steve. Roof. 1-5 roof. We got reports of another incoming plane. You may have to take cover. Stay in the stairwell. 10-4. 1-5 to 1-5 roof. That plane is ours. I repeat, it's ours. What floor are you on, Scotty? 54. All right, keep making your way up. We're behind you. 10-4. 1-5 to 1-5 OB. 5 OB. All right, Tommy, listen carefully. I'm sending all the injured down to you on 40. You're going to have to get them down to the elevator. There's about 10 to 15 people coming down to you. Okay. 10 civilians coming down. 1-5 to OB. Got that. I'm on 40 right now. Close.
I can think of younger days when I lived for my life was everything a man could want to do. I could never see
to the lobby. Try to get an EMS crew back. Definitely. 7 ladder, 1-5 roof, what's the progress? 6-3, battalion.
Tell me
Battalion 7. Battalion 9. Oriole, I couldn't find a bank to bring me up there any higher. I'm on the 40th floor. What can I do for you? We're going to have to hoof it. I'm on 69 now, so we need a higher bank, please.
broken man, yeah.
can lose or ever win. Somebody please help me mend my broken heart and let me live again.
What stand were you in, also? Stand on the building, boys. Attack 1 to attack 1 Alpha. Battalion 7, right on the spot of roof. Just 4. Battalion 9 to Battalion 7. Battalion 9. Ori, I'm going to try to get a couple of CFRD engines on the 40th floor, so send any victims down here outside of the staging area. Okay, the fireman said this elevator works for quality. If we get some more cars in those banks running, we'll be all right.
Would you believe that no one ever told us about the sorrow? So how can we make a broken heart? And mine is. How can you stop the rain from falling down?
It's so hard for me to get through this because I just have this horrible feeling of empathy for these people. I can feel the pain that they felt and how it must have broke their heart when that building collapsed on them and they thought they would never see their children again. It just breaks my heart. You hear their voices and how they're struggling.
1-5 to Battalion 7. Colorado 1-5. What do you got up there, Chief? I'm still in boys' stairway, 74th floor. No smoke or fire problem. The walls are breached, so be careful. Yeah, 10-4. I saw that on 68. All right, we're on 71. We're coming up behind you. 10-4. 6 more to go. Let me know when you see fire. Marshal 175. 1-5 to 1-5 OB. 1-5 to 1-5 OB. 1-5 OB. Tommy, have you made it back down to the lobby yet? The elevator's screwed up. You can't move it? I don't want to get stuck in this shift. Tommy, it's imperative that you try to get down to the lobby command post and get some people up to 40. We got injured people up here on 70. If you make it to the lobby command post, see if they can somehow get elevated past the 40th floor. We got people injured all the way up here. 7. Yeah, Chief, I'm on 5-5. I got a rest. I'll try to get up there as soon as possible. 10-4. Anybody see the Highway 1 car? Highway 1 car. We need it for an escort to the hospital for a fireman. Battalion 7. 4-5.
I can think of younger days.
Did you hear his voice? That's hang on, I'm trying not to cry. That's the main guy. That's the head guy that was leading the battalion. It just breaks my heart. You can hear him struggling.
Battalion 7. 4-5.
That's him.
to 15 Wilson, Iron. Battalion 60 command post. Battalion 7 Alpha. Flooding, come on over. Flooding, come on over by us. Okay, we got... Hey, 90415. We got two isolated pockets of fire. We should be able to knock it down with 2 lines. Where you know that? 78th floor, numerous 1045 call horns.
And that was his last transmission. And then the motherfucker fell. And what do you do with this anger and this hurt? What do you do with it? What do you do? What do you just pretend like it never happened and you go along saying Merry Christmas to everybody and just ignoring it? You can't do that. People aren't made like that. And it just kills me that 287 people that went up there. I mean, what kind of a job do you have? What kind of money do you make? You make pretty good money, I'm sure, whoever you are. But do you make your money saving people's lives? Putting your life at risk? Putting your life in harm's way like that? I mean, I know there's a lot of rotten cops around that shoot people for no reason. I get that, okay? But what I don't understand is firemen. They break my heart. It breaks my heart the way they put themselves out in harm's way. They don't have to do that. They could be an insurance salesman, or they could work at a car dealership. They could do something else, but they choose to do that. And I just think those are the people that we need to just really be nice to. Because I just can't stand it. I can't stand to think that there are people that do it for a goddamn living. That's what they choose to do for a living, is to put themselves in harm's way. For idiots like us. For assholes like us that don't deserve it. I remember one time, a long time ago, on my Blog Talk radio show, when I was doing a show just randomly about whatever bullshit we were doing a show about, and I get a call from a fireman. And I absolutely fell in love with this man. And he was calling me for advice. Because that's what I did. I took calls for advice, millions of them. Which is why I started this goddamn podcast, was to help people. That's most of the people that are a part of my podcast today was somebody that called in for advice. They just stuck around. And I remember his calls so clearly. And I remember telling him, I just cannot believe the low pay that you guys get. And it's bullshit. There's attorneys out there that sit up in these ivory towers and make all this goddamn money just thieving from people and lying about people and doing shitty fucking work. And you guys are out there making $45,000 a year saving fucking lives. I think you ought to be the ones that are making $250,000 goddamn dollars a year. And he had called in to ask me a question about his wife. And I'm going to see if I can find this to show you guys this. This is pretty amazing talk that I had with this guy. Let me see if I can find him. I don't remember his name. I just remember that he was a fireman. And it broke my heart. It literally broke my heart when he called. This is it.
So I kicked him out of the chat room. I'm sorry. But, no, it's all getting confusing. And you know, it's really funny, Mr. Solutions, that I have been confused about on myself lately and his support of Bathtub Girl. I guess maybe he doesn't know what has gone on with Bathtub Girl or what.
No, he's campaigning to her. He's trying to get in her good graces, which shouldn't be hard to do. She had the unmitigated gall to say, I would like her if I got to know her. I found that completely insane. There are not a lot of people I can't stand, but she happens to be one of them. There are not a lot of people I can't stand, but standing, you don't really need to see a person's face. Well, you can hear their words and discern what's going on, just like I can with your words, and like I do.
Right. And I think that you have to let yourself be the judge of somebody's character, and to sit night after night and listen to Mr. Midnight Movie just get owned by every caller that calls into his show, I think is sad.
It is, and I try to beat him up, give him information where he can read something and understand a little bit of what he's talking about, and that way he'll be more proficient in what he's doing. But, you know, he is the bloviating, inflammatory truth teller.
That is correct. I don't think you have, for me, I don't think you have to know, like, everything about the Constitution or certain things to know about topics. And I frame my show more as a question on topics than I do on me knowing everything. I like to think that I'm rather humble in how I go about doing things. I mean, I'm just there to examine the facts.
Yeah, but you can't. Okay, my only thing with that is now you started off on the wrong foot. No one knows everything. I don't know everything. No one knows everything. But it's good to know relevant things, and that's where you fall flat on your face. You don't know the relevant things. It's not about knowing everything, because I think I asked him.
I agree, Brian.
Right, I asked him what was the preamble to the Constitution. He didn't know.
Well, I mean, if you said the Confederacy Papers, I mean,
wait. When I'm dealing with, I asked him what was the word inalienable, and that was germane to the conversation. He didn't know.
You know what? I've never heard anyone ask me to define that word before. And no, I didn't know it, but that to me was not necessarily relevant to the conversation we were having.
Have you looked it up since? Have you looked it up since we had the conversation?
No, I haven't.
Aha, there you go.
Well, you know, like I said,
Mr. Solution was considered the golden standard of callers on Blog Talk Radio. He was the most intelligent person I'd ever encountered. And he would say the same thing of me. He chose my show because he said it was the only show that had any kind of significance on Blog Talk Radio to call into. He called in for years until the Jew attacked him one night, and when I didn't defend him, he got mad and he never came back. He said, "I'm tired of this," just like the news guy. He just left and never came back. But it says the fireman comes on here. I'm going to go forward a little bit because I don't want to hear Brian's bullshit. Let's go forward, shall we? Let's do that.
What is the word, Brian?
Inalienable. Inalienable rights.
Inalienable rights are rights that nobody can take away from you. They're rights that you get just because you're born a human being. I'm not even looking it up. That's just what I know it to be.
All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, that was basically it. See, he hasn't looked it up. Now, it'll come up again, and he'll say the same dumb thing. Well, I haven't looked that up. He had plenty of time to do it. It will come up. Trust me.
Do you think most Americans know what the word inalienable means? If you ask them that, if you ask them to define that?
Well, but that's not relevant. Most Americans are creating on a show trying to speak of something they have little to no knowledge.
Mr. Midnight Movie used to call himself the First Amendment superhero, and he didn't even know what inalienable meant. He didn't even know what the preamble to the Constitution of the United States was. He couldn't recite it. He was getting his ass called out on the bullshitter that he was and is still.
Mean to you, at its core, it consists of being healthy, having enough food to feed yourself and your family, and enough, and enough money to do what you want and to buy what you want. For most people, that entails a nice home, decent clothes, a car or two, cable TV, good times with family and friends. And then it goes, furthermore, happiness means being able to speak what's on one's mind without fear, to worship God, the God of your choosing, and to feel safe and secure in your own home. Now, if you just use those as fundamental standards, which I concur with, Now, Mr. Midnight Movie does not have his own home. He lives with roommates, kind of like a dorm setting. And I even abandoned that in college.
I thought you lived with your dad, Brian. I'm sorry to interrupt. I thought you lived with your dad, Brian.
No. I visit my dad because of his heart condition, but no.
And see, he talks about wanting to kill his dad. I guess that's in chapter 2. Maybe that should be chapter 1.
That's Oedipus complex.
Yeah, he wants to kill his father. He called me, but that's okay.
Wait a minute. Say what? What was that?
That's what my father used to call me as a kid. He used to call me Little Oedipus. But that's,
Oedipus Rex wanted to kill his father and possess his mother. Yeah.
Well, see, the thing with Miss Midnight Movie, and he accused me of something that was so puer aeternus the other day, eternal Latin. He said, well, I bet no woman could stand you. When most of America now is single, it's an epidemic. Singleness in America is epidemic. And he, felt, the little privilege, a little get back at me to...
Okay, I have a caller on the board. So let me check and see who this is. I've been holding for a while. All right, caller from area code 816. You're on the air with Debbie. What's up?
Hi, Debbie.
This is him. This is the New York fireman. No. He was a fireman, but he was in, I forgot. Let's see what he says. I haven't listened to this.
Hi.
You don't remember me. I haven't called in for probably a year or so. I'm Frank, one of the firefighters used to call you.
If you hadn't said that, I would have known exactly who you were. How are you?
Whatever. I'm all right. How are you doing?
I'm good. How's your wife?
Oh, she moved out.
I had a feeling. I don't know why. The second I picked up the phone, I thought, uh-oh. Y'all were having trouble the last time we talked, remember?
Yeah, we're always having trouble. Anyways, the only reason I called in is funny is because they was talking about people being selfish and all that. And, she got herself into like $10,000 in debt here in July and just told me about it 3 days ago and then tried to turn it around on me. That's why she left. So I thought it was funny. I'm okay with it, whatever.
This just happened recently?
Uh-huh.
Okay, she got herself into $10,000 worth of debt and told you about it and also tried to blame it on you? You want to talk about it?
Yeah, well, she knew about it for about 6 months. And
was it have to do with her beauty salon or something?
No.
Does she work? Okay.
Huh?
Oh. Was it, I just said, was it a debt that she incurred about her job or something? What happened? I mean, I think that I loved each other. I think you love her.
Oh, I do. There's just no reasoning with her. She's so mad at what she did, she tried to blame it on me and decided she's just going to move out because I was pissed.
Oh, yeah, but you've got a temper. I know that.
Yeah, well, that'd piss anybody off.
Well, where did she go? Do you know where she went?
Oh, I don't know. Her moms or friends or something.
This is how you build a fan base. This is how you build a listening base. I built this show to what it is today. I built it. I didn't go and troll some other show and try to get their listeners by trolling them. I built this son of a bitch from the ground up. I started out with 2 listeners. One was named Easy Rider and one was named Party Pig. Party Pig and Easy Rider to this day still listen to this show. They were the only 2 listeners I had for a year. But I started my show when they showed up and we had a great time. People that try to get other people to listen to them by lying and trolling their shows are dirtbags. They're bottom feeders. They're the worst people in the world because they're based on deceit. They're based on lies. I built this thing from the ground up with my 2 hands.
Something I don't...
And I'll be goddamned if I'm going to let some lying fucking cunt take it.
Don't know.
You haven't talked to her?
No, not really. Well, I saw her today. She come and pick up some more of her stuff, so I said hi.
You didn't do the obligatory go after her?
No, I'm just going to stay away from her. I mean,
You know, I've heard a lot of men say, do you listen to country and western music?
Depends.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
I was talking about, there was a George Jones song that said one time that, you know, if he could do it all over again, he would go after her. You know, just make sure that you really are serious about letting her go. You know, because don't let too much time go by is what I'm saying.
You don't know who I am, but I know all about you. I've come to talk to you tonight about the things I've seen you do.
You know who this goes out to, and you know who you are.
I've come to set the record straight. I've come to shine the light on you. Let me introduce myself. I am the cold, hard truth. There is a woman we both know. I think you know the one I mean. She gave her heart and soul to you. You gave her only broken dreams. You say you're not the one to blame for all the heartache she's been through. I say you're nothing but a lie. And I'm the cold, hard truth. All your life, that's how it's been. Looking out for number one, taking more than you give, moving on when you're done. With her you could have had it all. A family and love to last. If you had any sense at all, you'd go and beg her to come back.
Letter one time I got that I never read out loud before. It was a letter from Kevin Kierstead that said, Dear Debbie, should I be concerned that somebody is calling JP a child molester on the comments to this show below? And I don't know what Guy Shea is also trying to say. Should I delete the posts about JP? Can people be reported for stuff like that? Love, Kevin. Let me know. I wrote back, Dear Kevin, Jewish producer is not a child molester. He's one of my best friends. One of the most common things that trolls do is call people they hate a child molester. Please delete those comments. Kevin wrote back, Dear Debbie, done. Thanks so much.
You think that you're a real man, but you're nothing but a fool. The way you run away from love, the way you try to play it cool. I'm gonna say this just one time. Time is running out on you. You best remember me, my friend. I am the cold, hard truth. You best remember me, my friend. I am the cold, hard truth.
Recorded at 68 years of age. He hadn't been in a recording studio for years and years and years, and he's like, watch out, move over, boys, let me show you how this shit is done. Nobody could beat George Jones. Nobody. He was the king. He always will remain the king.
If you think that you're ever going to change your mind and want her back, because sometimes women, you know, we really shut down, and then once we shut down, it's pretty much shut down. Just, I hate to see you get hurt.
Well, this house is about once a year with her, so if it ain't this, it's going to be something else. So,
see, you can tell the man's a fireman by the way he laughs in his at his infirmaries, at his own infirmaries, that he's hurting for this woman. He's not fooling me, and that's what drew him to me. Is he's not fooling me. I know he's hurt over this woman because he loved her to death. She was real short. Her name, what was her name? I forgot her name. She had originally called my show and asked for advice, and I gave her advice. He heard the call. He was in the bedroom and called in to talk to me about it. I wish I could get to that original call, but I don't know where it's at. This one occurred in January of 2013, the one we're listening to. And I remember telling him I wasn't siding with him. I never side with anybody in these situations because I'm fair and I'm honest. And I tell people what they need to hear. And I'm telling him, you might want to think twice about letting her go. And he laughs every time he says something. And he wasn't fooling me with the laugh. That's just the way firemen are. They have to. They're trained to. They laugh at everything because if not, you know, like they say, they'll go insane.
You know, I'm not so sure I wouldn't be doing that, you know, too, right now. I've kind of been living on shaky ground over here, to tell you the truth. But I think
it's hard out there.
Yeah. You know what Shakespeare said? When poverty flies in the window, love walks out the door.
Yeah. Well, I ain't even mad at you $10,000 in debt. That's not what I'm mad about. I'm mad that she knew about it and then tried to take care of it on her own, fucked it up way more royally than she ever could, instead of just telling me about it. So.
Oh, no. Well, do you think she had a reason? Did she have a reason to do that, maybe?
I don't know. She's just too headstrong, I suppose.
Well, let's look at your reaction, though. Your reaction was... Maybe she, no, I'm not taking her side, you know that. Maybe she was just afraid of your reaction, which she did get, right? I don't know, you know?
Oh, yeah, I'm getting pissed. But, I mean, how more pissed was I when I found out she kept it to me and fucked it all up? I mean...
Oh, no.
You know, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean... Gosh, I know, it's a mess. You know, and what I mean when I say Shakespeare says when poverty flies in the window, I think it just has to do with anything that has to do with finances. Why is that? Why is it people just get so bent out of shape about finances? I think that money, people don't give money enough credit.
Well, you know, I could. The finances don't really bother me. I mean, you know, I'm not broke, but I kind of live within my means, you know. By no way am I comfortable. I mean, you know, there's all, you know, taking pay cuts and whatever. Right. But I take care of all the bills around the house, you know, pay for everything. That's fine. So it don't really affect me none what she did. It's just the fact that she screwed herself so royally. And yeah, it'll affect me somewhat, but... You know, just keeping it from me and, you know, try and take care of it on her own, where she did the totally exact opposite thing what she should have done, instead of telling me about it. That's what makes me mad. I mean...
So you felt like she was keeping something from you, and that's not, you know, I wish I could, something like that happened over here. and I was mad. I can understand, and I don't, I can completely understand your anger. I can completely understand it. But I'm wondering what caused her to move out. Did the anger kind of escalate to what we want to refer to as Mount St. Helens, maybe?
No, it's just kind of her MO. She'll do something once a year that's totally fucked up, and then she'll try and turn it around that it's my fault that, for whatever reason, like this time. Well, she just couldn't talk to me because I don't like listening to her. I was turning that around, and then her parents will enable her by taking her back. I mean, she's 31 years old, and she's moving back in with her parents. I mean, my parents tell me, get fucked, go buy an apartment or something.
Stay home and work it out.
Yeah.
Or, work it out. I mean, I don't know. How long do these things usually last? Or does she really do this all the time? Now, she did tell me one time that y'all separated often.
Yeah, that happens, yeah.
Well, I know it's a drag, though. It's got to be a drag. I mean, it's got to be, it's just rustled your jimmies. It's just got everything kind of...
Listen to Debi.
Your jimmies sound rustled. No,
you know it.
Well, yeah, and things can get so messed up. Victor said to me, I said, Victor, what is this $45,000 right here that says on your... on his email account, it says he got no, listen. He got an email from this is the following disbursements of the sale of blank, and it said blank, 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 and it got down to Vic, and it said $45,000. And I went,
well, I hope he bought a fucking boat.
I said, is there something you want to tell me about? He goes, well, you knew I was dealing in property. I said, no, I didn't. I didn't know that, Vic. He was like, well, that's what it was. And they just get so defensive. And I don't have to tell you everything I do. Blah, 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 blah. So, I don't know, but...
$45,000, that's a big chunk of change.
I know. And I thought, I was like, I never got much of an answer. It was like, well, I just had to back out of the deal and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. And I never really got an answer. Yes, baby. I never really got an answer either. That's my daughter. I never really got an answer either on that. So right now, at this very moment in time, I'm actually going through some of that bullshit myself. And I'm not so sure that if my parents weren't alive, I might go over there or something.
See, that's fucking chicken shit to me. I mean, it's chicken shit for her to do. I mean, instead of just owning up to it and trying to work it out. I mean, I'm not the smartest guy ever. Don't make all the right decisions either, but, I try and stick it out. Just saying it's chicken shit to me.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know. I mean, gosh, I wish Mr. Solutions was here because he's always got a great answer to these things. It's like, is it better to stay there? I mean, you and I are both on the same side here. We both got a spouse that's kind of doing some wanky-twanky business deals behind our back. Did she purchase something? Now, you don't have to give me the details, but...
No, this goes back to her past marriage, actually, and when she got divorced, I mean, she had a kid before that I've pretty much raised or whatever. Anyways, this went back, everything I told her all through life, because I was with her before she had actually got divorced, and she had been separated from this fellow for a few years. Well, she didn't take a lawyer to the divorce court. And I said, if you go to court, you're not a lawyer, and you get a lawyer. I mean, they just have to. Well, he bicked her or whatever. Well, the judge went back, so many years when they were separated. Well, she thought when she found this out that she owed that back money that she'd call the ex-husband, who I'm sure that he wasn't all about getting free money, was going to help her out, and she totally fucked it up. But apparently I'm the one at fault because she couldn't tell me about it because I'd been mad, So.
Oh, no. Well...
But anyways, going back to the chicken shit part, I mean, I'm not a big Bible beater or whatever, but, when you take your vows and all that, you're supposed to be, flesh for flesh, you're all one, in it for all, right? I mean, and she just keeps running back to her parents, and she don't need a husband, she needs parents.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That is no way. How can you work things out when you're not there, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. I wasn't too mad about it, other than she just kept it from me, and she can't seem to understand that. So I don't know.
And now you're sitting there by yourself, going, "What the fuck?" That's gotta suck.
Pretty much. I feel pretty good about it, though. I mean, I haven't, done nothing crazy or nothing.
You don't have any guilt, is what you're saying, right?
No, not really.
Your ass.
Huh?
I said you didn't show your ass, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've just been through it so many times before. It's going to run its course, and I do know.
I'm fixing to have to get off of this thing because I'm going to have to go to work and log in. Let me check when I log in. I think I log in at 6. Let me make sure while I'm sitting here, making sure of that. I don't know where to buy quantum cryptocurrency. Victor told me to buy some, and I don't know where to buy it, so we'll have to just wait and see. I don't know where to buy it. Let me see. When do I log in? I go in from... Hold on. 6:15 to 11. But I get a break at 6:45. 6:30 to 7:30. 6:15 to... Wait just a second. I can't figure this out. Let's see. I'm covering somebody from 6:15 to 6:30 on the lines. So that's in about 30 minutes. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I could just keep going, or I could just cancel this and go back and come back later. That's probably what I'll do, because I need to get up and do a few more things around here. But remember those in 9/11, guys. Not cool. It's not good. Of course it wasn't a goddamn conspiracy. Are you kidding me? It was real. It happened. It was some fucking Islamic people from the jihad, whatever the fuck. It's really sad. Return to ground zero. Yeah, sad. I'll get back to it later. I don't get off till 11, though, but this is a night crew around here. Nobody does anything around here but stay up late. So today's Tuesday. I'll probably be on later tonight. I've been sleeping so much lately that I probably can stay up late. That's probably what I'll do, all right? I'll start a show later on tonight. Until then, you guys all be cool, stay cool, and be careful who you believe and what you believe out there. It's all a bunch of bullshit. It's so bad I don't even want to address. They're like talking to crazy people, so I don't even want to address them anymore. I'm trying. I fought with them in the afternoon in the chat room, and I thought, God, these people are just fucking nuts. It's like dealing with dogs. All right, I'll be back later. Unless, Joe, if you're out there, do you want to call in and talk to these people or something? But the last time I did that, there was so much dead air, I ended up killing the show. I'll just be back later.